Hey guys, MVP here, and today I'm going to show you my Kalashnikov Saiga-9 EXP. So Saiga-9 export. This is made in Russia by Kalashnikov Concern. This is not a KP-9. This is the gun the KP-9 was based on, and this in turn was based on the Vityaz submachine gun, the Vityaz SN, in use by Russian special forces. So this is not how it came from the factory or from the gun store. I've already done quite a few things to it to kind of personalize it my way, and based on what available parts are in the Philippines. So as you can imagine, AK parts here medyo mahirap eh. Konti lang tayong mahilig sa AK dito. I am one of those people who like AKs, and this is like one of my gateways into the AK fun part, the fun of AKs. And then, which is also why, if you've seen my previous videos, this is something I also enjoy. This is my Shooter's Arms SAM Sentinel, which is basically a Chinese parts kit built by shooters here in the Philippines. And it was originally an underfolder. I've now converted it, made it my own. So I'm going to be having fun with this once the gun ban ends. Yay! Hopefully soon. But anyways, so onto the Saiga-9. The Saiga-9 is I think it was out of a request for Russian special forces and Russian law enforcement to have a close quarters battle, something 9mm that is good for close quarters battle, and similar to like an MP5. Yes, but they're not going to go for an MP5 in Russia. They're going to go for something like an AK, because lahat ng tao doon marunong ng AK eh. So bakit pa babaguhin yung manual of arms? So this one just makes it easy for them to maneuver around and not have to retrain everyone, so much. I mean, the only thing that would really change in terms of the manual of arms is the magazine, because in the magazine, just to show you clear, of course, the magazine, instead of being, like rock and lock like that, like an AK, this one goes in like that. And then, to show clear, of course, I've already safety checked this. It is clear. So, all well and good there. Originally came with a triangle folder. And then you press that, and then folds up like that, fits in a bag, no problem. So that's the beauty of the AK. The AR-15 can't do that unless you buy I think Sylvan Arms yata yun, para you can fold it up like this. So there. Now, first things that you may notice if you're keen-eyed. So the finish of this, of course, is it's like a painted black. It's different from like the one in the KP-9. It's a bit shinier, but it's very, very tough. It's a very tough finish. But if you notice, this one has 3 pins. So this is not a machine gun. This is still semi-auto. But it does have the auto sear, which acts as an out-of-battery safety. So that's the beauty of this. So this doesn't have the how do you say, the problem with the KP-9 before, where they had the out-of-battery safeties, because for the KP-9 they modified the bolt to have a little firing pin block. This one, they use the auto sear as a safety sear. So that is something very good with what they did here. They just chopped the disconnector to make it shorter, so this full auto fire does not engage. So this is now an extra safety, which I think is very, very good. Now, to get into some of the mods that I've done, so the tip to butt. So in the front, you'll notice I have this muzzle brake here. It's a copy, or at least inspired, by the Surefire SOCOM muzzle brake, the suppressor mount of Surefire. Again, we don't get this. Surefire doesn't make for 9mm, I think, or at least for a 9mm pistol caliber carbine like this. And even if they did make it, they would probably make it in 1/2 28. But this one, being a Russian gun, this is not 1/2 20 by 28. This is M16 by 1 thread, so it's different. So I had my gunsmith, a local gunsmith, BNK Gunsmithing, over in San Juan. They made me this, so it can fit in there, and then use the detent like an AK. Use a detent there to lock this in. So once that's in there, it's very, very secure, and it's concentric. And what that allows me to do is like that. So this is an aluminum suppressor, because it's only 9mm. But I've had this for 2 years now. It hasn't lost zero. It's still perfect. But it allows me to quickly attach, detach. I know the Russians already had the quick detach here, but this is quicker. So, or at least it's inspired by the fast attach system of Surefire. So which is nice, you know. So at least I can shoot the suppressed. This is my home defense gun as it is configured, because it is nice and very, very handy to maneuver. Now up front, I do have a Surefire G2X, I think Pro or G2X Tactical. I'm not sure which model it is, but it's thumb activated. So if I'm me being right-handed, I'll use this. I'll use that to activate that. Makes it very simple. The handguard is a Fab Defense Vanguard. I'm not really a big fan of Fab Defense, to be honest, but I like what they did with this one. Now, it's got M-LOK, so M-LOK at the bottom, M-LOK here on the side, even on the gas tube cover. So M-LOK, 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 M-LOK. I even have a little rail here because eventually I want to run a laser unit, an IR laser for night vision shooting. So it's a very nice handgun. It's pretty cheap, so pretty good. I think it was like 4,000 pesos, maybe less. And then this one is a Strike Industries Bikini Handstop. Not a big fan of them, but I like the low profile nature of this. So still pretty good. Magazines, this is original Kalashnikov Concern. Now you see the markings there, 9x19, all that. Then the top rail, the top dust cover is not a removable one. This is only a tilting one. So if I tilt that, see, it doesn't really remove itself. It's pinned there and hinged there, and it makes it very, I guess, secure. And it doesn't really, the zero doesn't move that much. Here's the AK thing, there. So once you do that, it seems very rough, but that's what AKs are, and I actually like it that way. The optic I have on here, this is not a Zenitco, or it's just inspired by Zenitco. This is an MDS3 by Novus Precision. And I found it to be a really, really good optic. I mean, it's not, probably not going to be it's not going to hold a candle to a real Zenitco, maybe, I don't know, because I don't have one. But this is a really nice optic. The red dot is pretty crisp, even for me who has astigmatism. And I like that it has a little riser with see-through there. So even if, let's say, let me fold this again. I'm not sure if I can show it to you, but this would have, I'll remove the suppressor again. All right, so the great thing here is that, again, very compact, very handy, is that when you flip it around, I'm not really sure if it's gonna come through, by the way, so we'll just eyeball it and something. But if you do there, anyways, it's gonna, you can see, I can look down there, use my iron sights right here, or use the tube optic, which has a nice and crisp red dot. So that's something I like in that one. It has that little, and it's not too high, because most of the optics are made for AR height, and this one not being an AR, might definitely like this one the way it is. Now, the pistol grip I'm using is a Magpul. This is a K2 with the storage in the bottom. I use this for storing, battery. What I have here, a AAA battery for the optic, just in case. But even though I haven't really used it, so that's something handy. Now, Magpul on an AK. I mean, some guys aren't big fans of that, but here in the Philippines, the AK infrastructure isn't, how do you say, the parts ecosystem isn't readily available. So that's something to keep in mind. And then for this, now, originally I had a triangle folder stock, which folded this way and then would lock onto the extension on the barrel pin. But now I'm not using that. I still have it, it's up there, upstairs, but I decided instead to go for an AR tube adapter. So what I have here, this is I think, I'm trying to remember the company. This is LAC, Leighton Armory Customs out of Russia. So they make this folder, and it's a different one because if you notice, it's double hinged. So once you push the button, the original AK-74 or AK-100 series style button here, it has a one hinge there, 90 degrees, and then it has another one that kind of does that. It doesn't lock into place. It doesn't lock it there. So it just kind of just hangs there. So if you want to, I don't know, if you have rubber bands or something you want to secure that, you can. But the reason it's double hinged is most of the side folders are just a plate, like a little hinge there. And when you fold it up with the tube, with the buttstock installed, it will just kind of, it will go like this. So it will be a bit strange. So this one, they thought of that. And then so they make it as flat as possible. That's how they achieved that. So I think it's a very good thing. It locks onto the latch on the other side. Now, the other side. What can you see here? This is the original safety of the Saiga-9. It's very stiff. I think I still need to tune it, but if this is a leaf spring, but it's very, like, the force it's pushing onto the receiver is very strong. So I may replace this with something else, but for now, what I installed into it, this is a rifle dynamic safety stud that I drilled into there, so it's pretty good, all things considered. Allows me to do the trigger finger, but even then, even with this, it kind of is still pretty difficult, so I need to adjust this somehow. This one is a Zenitco RP2. It was an original Zenitco RP2. It allows, it basically extends extends it a bit, makes it a bit more comfortable to use, and it uses, it has an aluminum inner inside there, and then it has the actual knob cap, the knurled cap or whatever CNC cap, and then 2 Allen keys securing it in place, which is very, very good. Now, what else can I discuss with this gun? Oh, but the buttstock, I'm using a Magpul SLM. This is an SLM, so more compact. I actually cut this buffer tube. This is a cheap ass buffer tube. Kinat ko lang yan para magkasya yun. For an SLK, a Magpul SLK, or even a Car 15 stock would fit in here perfectly. So that would be, pretty good there. Now, to disassemble this, let's try it now, right? So, well, just at least to field strip this. So, that, push this out, standard AK spring, right? And then this, hey, so much dirt. So pull it up. So there. That's the bolt. Maybe I should clean my gun. I had some. This is the only thing about firing suppressed. It does get a bit dirty. But yeah, so it's the typical trigger group of an AK. Nothing really out of the ordinary here, apart from the safety sear. So if, for example, the beauty about a safety sear is that until the AK goes into battery all the way, if you notice, if it will only release that hammer, or at least allow it to go into the cock position for you to activate the trigger, it will only do it when it's pushed all the way in, like this, like that. So with machine gun AKs, that's kind of what you hear with the gun, because that's really what it's meant to do. It's meant to hold it back for safety, so you don't have to have problems. So here again, it won't let it. It's a dead trigger. It's a dead trigger right there until the actual gun is all the way in. So that's the beauty about the safety sear for the 3-pin KP9, or sorry, 3-pin Saiga-9, and then the recoil spring. This one actually, oh sorry, yeah, this one I changed. So this one is the actual guide is the stock one, but it now has an ALG one with that compressed part in the middle. It does make a little bit of a difference. I have to, I actually enjoy it. Seems a little softer on the recoil, not as harsh, but really, it's a blowback gun, and the best thing about this blowback gun is that this bolt is so heavy that it really dampens the recoil. That's one thing I found. It makes it really pleasant to shoot, even when you compare it against to an MP5. Now, granted, if we were talking purely about recoil impulse and the feel and all that, the MP5 is still the king. It's still the king with that kind of feel. But again, the MP5s in the Philippines are crazy priced. So this one is also crazy priced here in the Philippines, but nowhere near as the MP5, and it's an original Russian gun. And even the Turkish clones of the MP5 in the Philippines are also very expensive. But the best thing about it is that it's so simple. It uses simple mass just to give you a very soft recoiling gun. Kasi the MP5s and all that use a roller delayed. The AR9s, they use the same kind of principle, but the problem is in an AR9, the bolt, is not that. The receiver is not that wide, and the bolt is like a small tube, like the bolt carrier. There's not much place there to put weight, to put as much weight to dampen the force. This one, it uses the weight of the bolt, the actual bolt here, plus what would be the gas piston, made that one big solid. Well, actually, I think it's a 2-piece, but to make it solid, and heavy, so that when the round fires, it's very, very soft. So anyways, that's my Saiga-9. Let me know, guys, in the comments what you think. Personally, if I was to be asked again, would I buy this gun again? You know, if like knowing what I know about everything, about how this gun works and how it how it operates, would I buy one again? And the answer is absolutely. I absolutely love this thing. Are there some things that I would want improved? Well, for one, the AK ecosystem in the Philippines doesn't exist. So at least you have to be creative how you find parts, how you modify, what your concept is. And I'm just kind of blessed because I do know friends who go to Russia and that can that have import licenses and all that. So it's a bit easier. But for someone, you gotta be a bit more creative. But once you do get the hang of it, it's a very fun gun to shoot. The only thing though, it doesn't have bolt hold open, but it makes up for it in so many ways. The trigger, the handling, the weight. When you suppress it, it's really, really quiet. So yeah, that's my Kalashnikov Concern Saiga-9 EXP export model here in the Philippines. So let me know, guys, what you think in the comments below. I'm not going to modify this anymore because I think I've spent too much already, so I'll just enjoy shooting it. See you in the next video.